Hey there, Scorpio, and welcome to your January 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, creatives, and anybody who is interested in working on their self-expression and their spiritual growth in any form. So if these areas of life are interesting to you right now and you're kind of focusing on that, I definitely encourage you to keep listening. And I also want to remind you before we get into it that you can use these readings for your sun, moon, or your rising sign. So just keep that in mind, and you can maybe work with one or two of them or all three. You may also find that they don't necessarily resonate, and this is often because at the beginning of the month we aren't necessarily tuned into all the energies that are coming up. So a lot of times the feedback that I get from people is actually that the reading makes way more sense by the time they get to the end of the month. So you can always go ahead and save this video or just keep it in mind. And see if there's any synchronicities or thematic connections between this reading and your personal life events. Okay, Scorpio, I was seeing something that really kind of was striking to me as I was tuning into your energy during meditation, which is something I always do before every single reading. And I was seeing the color green, first of all, that was really standing out. And then it kind of was in this orb shape, but then as I sort of stayed with the image and continued to tune in, it started to feel like it was a cocoon, almost like a cocoon of like a really mysterious looking moth or butterfly or some kind of creature. Like it was a very strange looking cocoon, but it felt to me like there's an important stage of growth that you're in right now, and I think that it's going to be really important for you to give yourself full permission to make the choices that are right for you right now, and to not feel like, because the cocoon is sort of an internalized period of growth, not feel like you need to make choices that are going to be cohesive with what other people expect you to do, or with what other people's beliefs are that might be getting tangled up in the situation. I think that you have to be willing to possibly subvert authority in some way during this process. You may also have to face a fear during this process, or in order to do kind of what's right for you, Scorpio, you may have to encounter something that you have avoided for some time, or that you are not wanting to necessarily do or look at. So just be aware of that. But also I want you to be really like gentle on yourself during this process, because you are going through this almost gestational change. And I think that what comes as a result of this process is going to be a more fully expressive version of who you are, and you're also going to be transformed. You know, with the cocoon, it is a symbol of a stage of total transformation, and so this is something that is, I feel, you're at a really important point, and I think it's really significant as far as messages go, that you are leading this process for yourself, and that you're making choices that are totally sovereign and autonomous, and that aren't being impacted by what you assume other people would expect of you, or what other people may actually expect of you. I think that this has to be your decision, Scorpio. So do what's right for you while you're in this period of gestation and change, okay? Let's take a look at your cards, and we'll get some insight. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay, so I was also just feeling like eagle energy coming through just now, which to me is about seeing a higher vantage point but also not missing the details. It's really about clear perception. Like sharply witnessing reality in a very clear way. So let's take a look at your Animal Spirit Oracle cards. We've got Frog as the path. Wow, and the influencing energy or the lesson is the hyena. So yeah, this is really making sense. Scorpio, I have to say this is kind of spooky accurate as well. We have, you know, the green energy on the frog. And the fact that the frog card is kind of the water is pouring over the frog, it again kind of hints at this process of renewal or this process of cleansing and regeneration that's going on. We definitely get that feeling from this card of being in a place of quiet and being in a place of, you know, needing to be nourished and cleansed and almost needing to have, like, I can almost feel with this energy, and maybe somebody out there can relate to this, but I can almost feel this as, let's say you have an afternoon off, or you just leave work early or you stop work early, and you're kind of just asking yourself, like, what do I want to do with this free time? And honestly, the answer is that you want to just go in your bedroom, turn on your salt lamp or like a night light, turn off all the regular lights and just kind of chill. Maybe turn on a diffuser and have some essential oils kind of lightly being diffused into the air and just freaking chill. Just like lay in bed, be cozy, and just regenerate your energy. There's something here with the frog about really needing rest and needing not only rest, but because it's not just rest, right? Leisure time can even, you know, technically we can feel like when we're going on the holiday vacation, technically we're not working, so that feels like it's leisure, but there's something different about kind of taking time off and having leisure time versus taking time off and actually really completely anchoring in, doing this deeply regenerative sleeping time. I mean, sleeping longer hours or taking naps or just laying in bed, meditating, relaxing, feeling comfortable. I feel like there's something about this that really speaks to your need to kind of regenerate your own energy, your need to cleanse yourself. So maybe even drinking more water or doing some kind of cleanse if there's a cleanse in particular that you've been looking into. Could be green juice as well, because we've had the color green coming up so much. But I feel like this is like a real time of just gently releasing toxins. And I mean toxins physically, like through drinking water and passing toxins out of your body that way, but also toxins from just negative thoughts that you've had about yourself in the past, or toxins from holding on to resentments from past wounds in your relationships, or, you know, irritating things that you're just like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna let this go right now. I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna find that inner peace within myself and really make my own self-care my top priority. So that's kind of what I'm getting as your path. Like, that's the best way to use the energy of this month. But the influencing energy is the hyena, which, remember, like I was saying for you, is that you may have to face a fear, right? Like, that was something that I said about the meditation that came up, and that's not like the traditional definition of this card. If you read the guidebook of the Animal Spirit Oracle, it's not really what this card is about, but just this image, the way that this image looks, like, that's kind of what's coming through for me, is that you may feel like you're kind of having to face like either a darker aspect of yourself or someone else. Because also we see the moon is half lit and half shadow. So you're very aware of the light and shadow in life right now. You're very aware of the conscious, beautiful, awesome, amazing things and qualities about the people around you, but you're also very aware of their shadow potential. And you're probably deeply and even more aware of that within yourself too. So there's a sense of like, you know, this is a really deep draw. it's not something that I would normally, like, I don't know that I've ever seen these cards come up together, but they actually make a lot of sense, which is that, like, the hyena is kind of a vibe that can be intimidating. It can be a little snarky. It can be kind of rude. You can deal with people who are sarcastic or who have judgments. It's kind of a judgmental energy. So the main message that I'm getting from this for you again, Scorpio, is like, if you are in the process of tender transformation, just like that cocoon energy that came in for you during the meditation, if that's where you find yourself, you have to not share what this process is for you and what it means for you. You can't share that with people that you know are going to be judgmental and harsh with you about it. Like, that's just, I mean, that's something that Scorpios are already probably very aware of, that no good will come from it. So what's the point? You're definitely somebody who's very intuitive about who you open up to, and when you do open up to someone in your life, you can have the most groundbreaking, intense, and powerful vulnerability and intimacy, like more than any other sign. But at the same time, you're like that much more, because you can go to that deep place. You're also going to have to be really choosy about who you go there with, because there are people who are just not going to see things from our perspective, and we may be subject to like their reality, which is different from your reality. Like, this is the difference between factual truth. Factual truth is a real thing, but there's also personal truth. And personal truth is unique to each individual. So you don't want to confuse those things. And somebody, I feel like it's possible that somebody around you might want to be sharing their personal truth with you, but it could potentially have the potential to negatively impact you, because you're in a sensitive place. Like, you're in a zone or a sphere of transformation, right? So you're gonna have to kind of be a rebel, Scorpio. You're gonna have to be an advocate for yourself. You're going to have to deny authority of others, or the apparent authority, like the authority that someone claims to have or thinks that they have. You're going to have to not bat an eyelash at that. You're going to have to let that go, because they're not going to probably be on your side with this. But I feel like whatever it is, you will do really well with it. I just think you need to be choosy about who you share it with, basically. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. Wow, we've got Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Cups, Seven of Swords and the Death card, Ten of Swords and the Two of Cups, the Emperor, and Six of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so there's a lot coming through in this reading, like a lot of intense energies. But what I want to say first of all is that you are going into the year on a very fortunate note. Even if things aren't perfect, even if there's big changes that you know that you have to make, there's a sense of almost like that the hand of God is with you in a way. When we see the Wheel of Fortune with the Nine of Cups, it's almost like the cards are saying, don't worry too much about the challenges that you see ahead. Like, there will be challenges, but the wheel is turning in your favor. It's almost like the universe is giving you this little reminder that you're on the right track, and that this actually, paradoxically, even though we see some heavy, intense energies in this spread, this may actually be the path towards what you want. This may actually be the path towards what is going to bring you the ultimate, like, highest fulfillment that you can achieve at this time in your life. So there's something here about like a reminder of that, and a sense of not forgetting how much I want to say good fortune that's like coming through with this, how much good fortune is being amassed in your favor right now. Like, things are happening behind the scenes, things that maybe you're not giving yourself full permission to pay attention to at times, because you're worried about the here and now, you're concerned about this, and that, and they're fair, valid concerns, but the universe is kind of saying, be in the know. Like, be in the know about the fact that there is a conspiracy that there's a conspiracy on the behalf of the universe, I want to say, or on the behalf of your life that is in your favor. Like, make that belief jump, okay? If you're not there right now, Scorpio, make that belief jump where you're saying, you know, I don't know what this is right now. I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't know why I'm so frustrated about this or that. Whatever it is, make the adjustment internally that says, like, I know that this is working out for me, because it really is. I'm not sure what it's all leading to, but it is really good. There are some rocky things though. So let's talk about the eclipse on it's on January 10th, and I'm going to take a peek at my astrology. So yeah, so this is happening in your 3rd and 9th house axes. The 3rd house is where you're having this, symbolically, you're having this stellium in Capricorn. And it's a good relationship to you. It's a sextile, so it's a good thing for you. But at the same time, you know, this is really transformative energy for everyone. And you've probably heard other people talk about it. We also have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction happening 2 days later, which is like, wow. An eclipse, a lunar eclipse, and then, you know, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction within a couple of days. It's just really full on. And a lot can change in this 2nd week of January. So for you, what we have is the 7 of Swords and the Death card. I almost feel for some of you like you're making a decision around that period to either walk away from something, or like this could be a symbolic aspect of the beginning of you stepping away from something that is no longer serving you. So this could be a habit that you're breaking, for example. It could be a relationship that is no longer viable. It could be just some kind of really powerful experience on a personal level with the Death card. I mean, that is your card in the Major Arcana. It's ruled by Scorpio. So this is an energy that you're not going to feel necessarily uncomfortable with. Most Scorpios that I know and that I have worked with and that I've spoken to, and including myself, we tend to, I mean, we can definitely worry about things and we can have these ideas about like, well, what if the worst possible thing happens? But when we are actually in these kind of really potent, powerful times of transition and change, actually sometimes the best in us comes out, right? Like the freaking prowess that you didn't know that you had, the confidence that you didn't know that you had, the words that you didn't even know that you had within you, the conviction is all of a sudden it's there. And you might have felt like, oh my gosh, I don't have it, right up until the point when you need it, and then it's like, boom, it's out. So there's something going on here around this eclipse and the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which Pluto, you know, by modern standpoint is your ruler, your modern ruler of your sign. So there's definitely a sense that this is going to be impactful for you. Some ways that it could be impactful are, you know, with the 7 of Swords, it could be that things that have been hidden from you are going to come to light. This could be through finding out things about what's been going on in your life or with people in your life, so just be mindful of that. But it could also be that you are taking some kind of decisive action that is kind of turning a page in your life. You know, that's really what I see, because the 7 of Swords can be like a lone wolf card. It can be about doing things on your own, being in a position of like, okay, I'm going to withdraw myself from the community because I want to do something different. I want to do something that maybe this community doesn't accept, or I need to change like how I identify myself or how I think about myself, because I'm breaking away from the traditions that I've been a part of. Like that's the kind of energy that this is. So something powerful is going on, but again, it may be difficult. Looking at these cards, definitely it could be difficult, but I also feel like the best in you is going to be brought out, because there is this kind of intensity that the sign of Scorpio shares, you know, with its, I guess, you know, the people of, you know, the energy of Scorpio. There's something about like crisis, acting in crisis that is incredibly like full on and right there and present and just like taking charge of things. So if you are maybe like a nurse, for example, you could save someone's life, you know, or if you work with people who are going through tremendous crises, like this might not even just be you experiencing some kind of crisis or some kind of really potent change. This could be somebody that you're working with, if you're a healer or if you're a coach or if you're a nurse or a doctor or, you know, anything like that. You could be, you know, there could be a period of like, whoa, this is immediate. This is, I'm not sure what the outcome of this is going to be. Can I actually help this person? And then it pulls through. Or, you know, it could be that there's just really significant endings and beginnings in your life, Scorpio. So we see as we go into the third week of January, this is followed by another energy that symbolically represents change and transition, which is the Ten of Swords. I'm not crazy about how the Ten of Swords is usually depicted in decks. I feel like it's more scary than it needs to be. Really, we're talking about the 10th numbered card in the Swords, which does represent a kind of relief from the excess mental energy of the sword suit. So in a way, there is relief to this, but it is also, for some people, it is a genuine ending. And this could be in terms of a relationship with the Two of Cups. It could be that, you know, a relationship has to end. It could be that a choice is made to get space within a relationship. There could be a business partnership that needs to be dismantled, at least temporarily, until, you know, things settle down. There's also the potential with this that like a hoped for meeting or a hoped for kind of gelling and chemistry. Like let's say you were going to go on a date or you're going to kind of meet someone and you're hoping that you can work together or you're hoping that you can date this person. It may not be the situation that is ultimately right for you. And if that's the case, it will probably, the door probably won't open for that. So just keep that in mind. And if that is the case, I think that some of you are probably going to deal with a little bit of disappointment on that. But I also feel like the fact that you can get that like hope out of your vibration, or that because this you're entertaining something, right? You're entertaining some kind of potential, and that potential is not in your highest good. So if that potential gets taken away, or it gets the door gets shut on it, then you're going to actually have more of your own energy freed up to actually put into something that is actually going to work out. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. The end of the month, we have the Emperor and the Six of Swords. So some of you could be undergoing a change in relation to like a father figure or a figure of authority in your life. The Emperor is a card of, you know, fatherhood. It can sometimes represent managers or people that are kind of giving us orders or people in authority. So there could be some kind of movement away from an authority figure in your life or from a system that represents a structure of authority for you. So you might be kind of making the decision to walk away from a company that you've been working for a while, and you're just like, you know what, the whole system of this is just off. Like, I'm just finding this really wonky and I'm done. It could also be that you're walking away from your country of origin, like because the Emperor can represent, you know, where you come from, and then the Six of Swords can represent travel over water. So some of you could be moving away from the country that you were born in and going somewhere totally different. And that might be because of something that you're not happy with in the government, for example, because the Emperor can also represent governance. So there's some kind of sense of walking away from something that is maybe overbearing or that has been overly structured, not really giving you enough spontaneity. And we see that kind of coming in at the end of the month. So keep that in mind. This could be like you actually moving or leaving. It could also be the decision is made, and then the actual process, you know, has to become underway throughout the next couple of months. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Scorpio. It looks like a very transformational time for you, and there could be some periods around like the middle of the month where you feel like you just need some extra support. So I want to make sure that you remember to get that with the frog, and really remember to get enough rest. I think sleeping enough and more than you think you need, ideally, and drinking plenty of clean water. Also doing something that's good for your body, I think will really help you. And remember also that these things are all happening, you know, like a wish of yours, maybe you're even unconscious of it right now, but a wish of yours is being granted by the universe. But sometimes, in order for us to actually get on the path where our wishes can be granted and we can experience our manifestations coming into reality, sometimes we have to kind of get through a period that feels a bit unceremonious, right? Like life isn't always, you know, swans on a glassy lake. Life also has periods of time where we have to weather a particular storm, or we need to be willing to take care of ourselves while we're going through big transitions. And that's really what I think January is about for you. Don't put pressure on yourself to know exactly where this is leading, okay? Because you're doing great. You're doing so great. And the main thing right now is just take care of yourself. Take some time off, even if you're not planning on it, even if all of your little brain voices are saying, no, you don't have time to take any time off, you just can't do that, you need to work, you need to, you know, all this and that, or you can't, you know, you can't have extra time to yourself or whatever. I want you to really challenge those voices within you, because that's coming more from the hyena place, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing, is you need to really focus on you, Scorpio, and this is all working out, you know, the way that it's supposed to. So have your trust and faith in that. I hope that this reading has given you something useful and meaningful to think about as you go through the month. Please let me know if you have any feedback. I would love to hear from you in the comments. You can also leave me a little scorpion emoji and a little heart, like a little scorpion and a red heart, if you want to let me know that you're still with me at the very end of this reading. So I always love getting those from you guys, and it's so fun. So please let me know if you're still with me. You can also just say, I'm still here, if you don't have access to emojis. And please feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with a Scorpio who can use some encouragement for self-care. And I hope you have an amazing month. Mwah! Talk to you next time, Scorpio. Bye.